Hola, soy Julio César Chávez.
And lights out, baby. Lights out all day.
This is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a one-hour television spectacular.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
We gon' know. I got eyes and ears everywhere. I got friends all over the world, man.
Who gives a shit with Whitey? He's a piece of crap.
With a tear in my eye.
Hey, welcome to Fight Net Radio. My name is Lee Honish. I am joined by Andrew Lapachet, Miguel Antonio Barragan, and we talk about boxing. Each and every week, you can go and visit fight.net.radio on social media, especially Facebook. If you would like to learn more about the 26-part deep dive on the world of doping and boxing, go visit at Fight Fiend Miggs. His compelling deep dive will be picked up by Vice later on in the week. We're really proud of him, and hopefully he'll put together a Snyder Cut version of that. With that said, once around the horn, we start with Andrew Lapachet. We've been out for a couple of weeks. How was Easter, Andrew?
Very good, Lee. The kids got two of them. We went to Merced to go see their great-grandmother. We had an Easter up there, and then we had an Easter here at our house in the backyard. So they are doing good right now with candy.
Excellent. Miguel Antonio Barragan, how are you, and how was your Easter and the last week or so?
Doing well. I got my second official vaccine shot. Other than some soreness, a little bit of tired. I felt fatigue, but that's really it. It went away in like a day or so. So nothing major yet, thank goodness. And then my Easter was good, actually. I pretty much slept right through it. We don't really do much Easter. We don't have kids in the house, so we basically just slept through it, essentially. Woke up, ate some tamales, and called it a day.
Cool. It was also our birthdays over the last several weeks, for those of you who don't know, so we're going to go through them real quick, just so you can drop a note down at the bottom of this video or on whatever listening platform you're listening to. First and foremost was Miggs. He had a birthday about 3 weeks ago. Am I correct? It's been 3 weeks now. You're 3 weeks older into the new year.
4 weeks, roughly about a month. It was
4 weeks. And how is it for you? Are you feeling renewed vigor? You're the youngest member of this team. Where are you on all of that?
Definitely not.
Are you married yet?
No.
Are you having baby
Absolutely
drama
not.
or anything?
Nothing. Not even close. Nothing of the sort. Not even in the ballpark, my friend. Not even in the ballpark.
Last week was Andrew Lapachet's birthday. Did you get any ties from the kids, and or did you get anything good at all?
Or socks.
Socks.
I got a barbecue pit, smoker,
Nice
combo, I guess you would say. I got some shoes. I got some shorts. Yeah, they all got me a present. I did very good. Very good.
Spring stuff.
Then we went and tried what casino was? Did I tell you what casino?
Yeah, no, you didn't tell us the casino you were at. You just told us you were at a casino.
Yeah. Man, what was the casino we were at? Hard Rock. The Hard Rock in Sacramento.
You went to the Hard Rock. Excellent. And did you score with that hot chick you were with that night?
No, yeah. That's about the only scoring, Lee. That's it.
That's the only scoring that matters.
Yes, sir. Very good. Very good. But didn't really like the casino that much. They didn't have any the old school slot machines. Everything was basically video games. Everything is about put your fucking $10 or more in. That's what it seemed like. Even the penny machines, dude. It's like you got to play 20 credits every pool and times it by 10, and it's like, what the fuck is going on here? I just want to play a game. So that sucked. I actually stopped gambling because I didn't like it that much.
Well, there you go. My birthday was a week ago or a week and a half ago. And I, being the senior member and now officially the oldest member and probably the oldest person working in boxing, because let's be honest, they all die from obesity. Sorry, that amused me. I didn't tell anybody what I actually did for my birthday. It was kind of a big deal. No, I did not get married for what would be a record-setting fourth or fifth time. I've lost track at this point. Instead, do you guys want to know what I did for my birthday? I didn't tell you guys. I went out to the desert. This exists. It's out by the Salton Sea. And I killed a human. Yeah, just like a movie. You get a gun and you chase him down and you kill him. It was great.
Manhunting.
That's nice.
Actually, you'd be surprised. Quite exhilarating, Andrew. Hey, this show's about boxing. Glad you could join in on our personal frivolities. If it makes you feel any better, it was a white dude. I made sure it was a white homeless dude, Andrew.
You're so stupid.
It's that white guilt again. What the hell's going on? He doesn't like whites. Are you new to the show? Stay tuned. This is fight.net.radio, available on Facebook. We have video available on YouTube and on the Facebook pages and groups. We put this out as a podcast. Producer Sam Navajero basically gave us a tongue lashing for basically not entertaining him while he made the Jizz Gelato. If you'd like to find out more about the Jizz Gelato, click like, send, be our friend on Facebook. I can't believe he made it. He made Jizz Gelato, and it's available for you to view on Facebook.
He put Fight Net Radio on it. He put Ricky Hatton's picture on it. That was pretty good. I wonder if he sold.
I know. I wonder how much of that he sold.
If your girlfriend walks up and asks for it, do you look at her differently?
Yeah, it's like, oh, look, sweetie, Ricky Hatton's on there. We have to get it.
Can I get Ricky Hatton's jizz, please?
Yes.
Can I have the Ricky? When you're at the Queensberry, where is it? It's the Queensberry Marcus of Melbourne, Australian rules, home of Tim Zoo Marketplace. Go check out Sam Navajero. He is the preferred gelato selection of FightNet Radio, where we've learned the term gelatotarian. I didn't even know someone who makes gelato is gelatotarian. And I guess, yeah.
Sadly, that would probably work at any Las Vegas pool party during a big fight week. Ryan Garcia's jizz, Canelo's jizz.
Yes, King Right.
You realize you're just empowering Sam to start making sampled flavors. Every time he makes a new batch in the morning, all right, note to Sam, every batch you make, why don't you just add a fighter's name to it and send it to us? So when we get to a big fight weekend, we can put up. And since Canelo's coming up with Billy Joe Saunders, please make a Billy Joe Saunders and probably the pistachio, right? That's a green gelato. You can make that Canelo's, and then you can do, I don't know, something white for Billy Joe Saunders. Yeah, I said it.
We could help them. We can ask the fighters what their favorite fruit is, and then we'll just name it jizz, whatever it is.
Yes, we'll have like some sort of like fucking USADA for Canelo or something. Some sort of USADA gelato. Why not?
USADA gelato, jizz gelato. Yes. USADA gelato, jizz gelato. I like it.
It's like the Ben and Jerry's. It's like the Ben and Jerry's of fucking gelato. Instead of Chunky Monkeys, we'll have like, Canelo jizz.
Nothing says Fight Week like jizz gelato. If this is your first time listening to Fight Net Radio and you think we're not your cup of tea, well, let me tell you from that preview, you're really not going to like the show. However, we do cover all the news of the week, and we have been off for 2 weeks, so we will rewind the clock, and we will cover the biggest stories. This show is designed to give you the latest stories, not all the stories, most of the stories. If your favorite fighter is, say, a bantamweight and possibly female, I'm pretty safely going to say that we're not covering that story. I don't care if she plowed into a bus full of kids while drunk. I might cover the story. Now you know the parameters. It's pretty much mainstream. It makes you informed enough that when you are talking water cooler logic with boxing people, non-boxing people, you will get frustrated. But this show, sadly, as always, both Miguel and I have talked about this. This is a show. This was the topic of debate in Vegas. This show is designed for people who are in boxing or writing boxing. It's an insider show. If you don't know about boxing, you're not going to get half the jokes. I'm just telling you, if you're casual fans, there's shitty shows like The Boxing Show, where you can listen to three guys scream and jack off and talk over each other for 2 hours about one fight. And if that's your cup of tea, they support us, so I'm supporting them. They are actually a good group of guys. As I am now another year older, hey, go support them, because you are a casual fan. That's the show for you. However, if you're a writer, a trainer, someone in boxing, someone related to boxing, or having done boxing yourself, this is the show for you. It's a new sort of year for all of us, so let's make it a new year for you. How was that for a commercial, Andrew? I was told to try to promote the show better.
That was on the money. That was on the money.
Was it on the money? I think that's a completely accurate description of Fight Net Radio. I almost want to clip it out and run it on a loop. For those of you listening to this, you can go to our Facebook page or the YouTube page, and you can watch the video. We look at the stories. I think there's video of me. Andrew had 2 seconds of video that didn't record, but you can certainly see the stories we're looking at. There are a couple of visual jokes today that might not translate to the podcast or broadcast. With that said, the show is about boxing, so let's rewind the clock. Clock. And we start. No, why is it already out of touch? All right, so is that where we want to rewind? Yes, I guess we're rewinding right there. Marco Antonio Barrera. This is on my birthday. Tell me this isn't a great headline in my universe. Marco Antonio Barrera is back in the ring. Now, for those of you that were born in the 90s or into boxing in that era, Marco Antonio Barrera was this really famous boxing dude who fought a dude named Eric Morales. More importantly, he's the dude who got rid of Prince Nassim Hamed for all of us. In our era of watching boxing, he is a very important figure. For those of you that are young and think that Deontay Wilder is a cool fighter, you wouldn't know about this guy. So I highly recommend watching those. So on June 11th at the Pico Rivera Sports Arena. Now let's stop there in the joke. Since I'm from Montebello and I understand what the Pico Rivera Sports Arena is, it is a rodeo track with rotting seats in a semicircle that hasn't been updated since, I don't know, since I went to high school in the 80s. It's a shithole off the 605. Just want to give you guys all the perspective on how fucked up that venue is. The 47-year-old Barrera last fought in 2011, and he is talking about Barrera Morales on a pay-per-view exhibition at the rodeo / bandas. Aren't they called bandas something or other? Like, that's the only things I've ever seen at the Pico Rivera Sports Arena. Like, bad rodeo or no knock. I don't want emails from people going, Mexican rodeos are the shit, Lee. Really? Are they? It seems a little too not dangerous for my taste, but hey, when I go to a rodeo, I want to see death. Which is why I watch white people rodeos in shit burned out suburban towns. So, or shitty circuses. So I start with you, Andrew Lapachet. Are you heading to Pico Rivera Arena? It's Pico Rivera to go see this fight?
No, and I actually was very upset when I first read it was supposed to be him and Eric Morales. We're going to try to do an exhibition fight. I believe that switched. I believe they switched the opponents. Maybe they haven't. I don't. When was this posted? March 31st.
This is March 31st. So are they still in the midst of trying to find someone dumb enough and old enough to fight him?
And, well, see, I was like, oh my God, here we go again, right? And Eric Morales, man, this guy's looked out of shape since he's been out of the ring. I don't think Morales has ever looked in shape. Where Barrera looks good around there. He's a TV commentator, so the guy stays in shape a lot. He just always looks like he's fit. He's a Bernard Hopkins, you would say, not Morales. So right off the bat, this is a money grab. Well, when I read in a little bit more, these two have done like 3 exhibition fights before, so this is pretty common between them two. So if it is Barrera Morales, At least they have a history of doing this before it was the thing to do now with all these old guys.
Miguel Antonio Barragan.
I'm not sure if we're going to touch on this later, but yeah, to my knowledge, Morales is not in the fight any longer. It's going to be Soto Caras, if you guys remember who Jesus Soto Caras was. They're going to throw him in there, and
couldn't they find Jorge Maramero Paez?
I mean, right? Or a rematch with fucking Nassim or something.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Whatever.
Somebody...
and Nassim looks like shit.
Oh
My
yes,
God, that'd be great.
Homeboy is round as hell. But yeah, it's I mean, from what I understand, it's going to be Soto Caras. I'm not sure if I like the idea to begin with, with Morales and Barrera, seeing them again, at least on whatever televised pay-per-view or whatever they were intending to do originally. So I'm just I don't know, these things, every time a new exhibition fight is announced, I just kind of do this face palm like, oh, now these guys want in on it and these guys want in on it. I mean, are they dying for money? Do they need money? Is that what ultimately it comes down to, or do they miss the spotlight? It's been 10 years for Barrera, but I mean, I think Morales stayed in the game a little bit longer than Barrera, so I think his last fight wasn't that long ago. But I'm not too excited about this one. I mean, just for nostalgia purposes, maybe I'll tune in, I'll stream it, but I'm certainly not paying no fucking pay-per-view, that's for sure.
Because I missed the story previously, let's cover it. Also, on March 31st, Tim Tszyu stops Paul Hogan. The man from down under, Paul Hogan, and his shrimp on the Barbie failed to stop the steamrolling Tim Tszyu, who is still undefeated, now 18-0 with 14 KOs. Andrew, you watched this fight. Tell me what you thought of watching Paul Hogan. Did he bring a knife to the ring and go, that's not a knife, that's a knife?
No, it was actually this was a decent performance, a lot better than what he put in with the who's the Horn? Jeff Horn, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was a better performance there. Now they're looking at fighting the other young man from Australia. Tszyu's working up slow. They're bringing him up slow. They're bringing him up right. His what is he, 17-0? I think you just said. That's
18-0, 14 KOs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a decent record. The Suns are showing up right now in the welterweight division. You had Conor Benn fight this weekend. You have Tszyu fight last weekend. Both of them look decent. So this is it's only good for boxing. They're bringing another fan base, as you would say.
Miguel Antonio Barragan, what did you think of young Tim Tszyu?
Well, I mean, this was the next step in competition, and he passed it with flying colors. He didn't go the full distance. I don't remember if he went the distance with Jeff Horn or not, but I mean, taking this dude out, taking Hogan out in 5 rounds, he's doing his part. They're giving him guys that he can beat right now, and slowly stepping up the competition, and he's doing his part by taking them out. He definitely looked a lot better than he did against Horn, but I mean, it's kind of hard to look good against Horn. Crawford did it, but that's another story. But I mean, when you fight Horn is just a sloppy motherfucker, and it's just hard to look good. I mean, he's kind of like, the poor man's Bernard Hopkins. When you fight the guy, it's kind of hard to look good against him, and Tszyu was no exception. Tszyu was having a hard time with him, but looked fantastic against Hogan. It's time for the next step up in competition. Of course, I'm looking forward to that. So I'm certainly riding the Tim Tszyu bandwagon right now.
There you go. Moving forward on April the 1st. For those of you who don't know, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. announced that he will be fighting Anderson Silva. On April 1st, they released betting odds for it, and they only mark a professional boxer versus an aged kickboxer as a 3-1 favorite.
That's kind of don't put too much on professional boxer, the title over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s head, man. He was a professional boxer maybe, 3 years into his career. As they were feeding him opponents, he took it serious. Once he started getting his ass kicked, that young man checked out a long time ago. This turned into nothing more but checks. Anderson Silva's nothing more than a check. They're obviously thinking they're going to bring in something like the Mayweather McGregor fight did, even if it's just a very small percentage, it'd still be a lot of money for these two. Professional boxer. Listen, I hope Chavez has enough to defend his sports, that his profession in that ring. But I'm not fucking surprised if he doesn't win. Come on now.
Hold on. Are you saying that the former WBC middleweight champion of the world is a fraud, Andrew?
When did I not say he wasn't a fraud? I don't understand where we're going with that one.
Neither here nor there, Andrew. We could have new listeners today. Perhaps I'm just retracting old ground. Since we've only recorded 200 hours of us shitting on Junior.
I'm very, very nervous on this fight that, Chavez will not make it through. Anderson Silva, kickboxer, MMA guy. He's a fighter. All right. The other guy, I don't know if he was a fighter. Really don't. I think he liked it when he had all the advantages. Are you still there?
Yeah, you're doing great.
Good. The screen switched. Sorry, guys. The screen switched. Okay. I thought I lost you.
Miguel, since you are the one who sent the text, and I quote, I wouldn't be surprised if Silva knocks him out.
Ooh, shit.
Why don't you expand a little bit upon it as our resident MMA guy who keeps us up to date on bigger MMA cards?
Well, I mean, under any other circumstance or normal circumstances, when I see a professional boxer or someone who's made their career in professional boxing versus a mixed martial artist, I think, okay, come on, the mixed martial artist is out of his league here. He needs much more striking, or specifically boxing, strictly boxing, to even come close to competing. This would be one of those exceptions, I would say. Anderson Silva, is. Both these guys are obviously past their prime, right? We understand that. Anderson being the older fighter. Anderson started with Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in his earlier career, then, put it together in mixed martial arts. So to I guess, reiterate what Andrew was saying, yes, Silva is a fighter. Like, dude, homeboy, throws down. He's going to go out on his shield. Like, hardcore, he will go out on his fucking shield, and he'll throw down. His chin isn't what it used to be. So, if Junior lets his hands go, there's a chance that he can hurt, Silva, definitely. And then considering, of course, the fact that he's trained his entire professional career in nothing but boxing. But considering we are talking about Chavez Jr. here, I wouldn't be surprised, seriously, if Silva lands one of those fucking right hands, because he can throw. The punches are going to be different because we're talking about boxing gloves as opposed to mixed martial arts gloves, but Silva can throw, and dude is a fighter. He does not wilt under pressure. You're going to have to take the dude out, and we know Chavez will look for the door any opportunity he gets, of course. This fight being in Mexico, I assume they're going to try to give Chavez every single, Chavez Jr., mind you, every single opportunity he can, to come out with a victory and preserve that Chavez aura. But I would not be surprised one bit if Silva lands a fucking combination and seriously takes Chavez Jr. out. Like, for real.
I mean, no, and you're not going out on a limb there. Lee, to beat Chavez Jr., you don't allow him to bully you. You don't allow him to bully you in negotiations. You don't allow him to bully you at the scale. If you pass all of that, you will beat this young man mentally, and his heart is not there in this sport. He's shown it time and time again. He has checked out of fights. He's turned into a walking punching bag. Anderson Silva, to me, does not look like a fighter that is going to get bullied. Don't be surprised Anderson Silva wins a boxing match against a professional ex-WBC middleweight champion of the world.
Which takes me to the bigger question, Andrew. It's a recurring segment now because I'm doing it for a second time. Can he knock Lee out while holding a beer? Yes, we're reviving the oldest game in the world. Andrew, here's the question. While standing in line, Chavez Jr. has a beer in his right hand. I accidentally bump into him. He turned around and cold cocks me with his left hand. 2 questions, Andrew. 1, does he knock me out with a left? Number 2, does he spill his beer? We did this last with Canelo, and we all decided, yes, Canelo would knock me out with his left hand. And 2, he would not spill a drop of his $20 beer. Today we played the game with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Does he even have a nickname? You realize that they misspelled his name? They spelled
what?
Cheeser. Is that not the best? By the way, even making a joke about this right now on the show with the video, does everybody realize that they're going to have this fixed by like Tuesday? But that's just me. By the way, for anybody on Fight News who's listening to this, I know you are, because this is how you do your edits. It literally says Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So, Andrew, can Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., one, knock me out with a left on a quick turn, and two, will or won't he spill that beer?
Intoxicated or not intoxicated is a big part of this equation here. If Chavez
high
is
on
drunk,
ecstasy, I'm going to toss it in.
Yeah, I say he misses and spills his beer. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's the best game ever. All right, Stone Cold Sober.
Stone cold sober, yes, he hits you and knocks your ass out. He still might spill his beer.
Does he spill his beer?
Still spills his beer, yeah. No, he's not perfect.
He's not Canelo. All right, Miguel. First condition. Under the conditions of ecstasy, as he likes to shoot his videos, does he knock me out and spill his beer?
Well, I definitely agree with Andrew that he definitely spills his beer one way or another, because that's how it's going to be. But no, I don't think he knocks you out. Yes, I think he lands, but he'll just get your attention. That's all it is. He'll just get your attention with it. But no, I don't think he'll knock you out with it. No.
In either condition.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the punch will be harder, sober, yes, but I still don't think he knocks you out. Honestly, I mean, hell, he telegraphs that left so damn much. I think you see it coming. So he still spills his beer regardless.
And as we did with our previous show, for the sake of Fight Net Radio, we're putting it out there for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. If you'd like to take the challenge, much like we said for Canelo, feel free. I love that game. It's the dumbest game we play. Roy Jones Jr. targets Oscar De La Hoya. As many of you know, Oscar recently announced that he is returning to the ring. Well, that got Roy all fired up, who said, this is all Triller entertainment, which we've done week after week with the This is Triller. I'm going to have to get it recorded on Fiverr and make it a theme song at this point. So Triller has been putting it out there for Mike Tyson to fight Roy again, or Mike Tyson to fight Evander Holyfield. Now Roy Jones and Oscar De La Hoya. Now Alfie Smith, Roy Jones' trainer. Who knew he had a trainer? I spoke to Roy today, and he's feeling great and willing to fight Oscar De La Hoya. Yeah, you outweigh him by 80 pounds, bro. No joke. I know that they never got to fight based on weight class, as it would be now, bro. Even a fat Oscar is still not heavy enough. But whatever the point. Captain Hook is down. Let's talk about two perspectives. I start with you, Miguel. One, Oscar De La Hoya returning to the ring because, well, as we stated a week ago, he's broke as a stick and lost all his fighters. Number two, the Roy Jones proposal, and or three, who is Oscar going to fight, sadly, to make himself $1 million to support his cocaine and hooker lifestyle?
Allegedly. I mean, it's so. I mean, Roy Jones has taken a lot of fucking punishment. You know, the latter part of his career, knocked the fuck out pretty badly. I think miles wise, as far as like brain damage, Jones is like, you know, light years ahead of Oscar. Yes, Oscar's taken his fair share, but he's never been that fucked up the way Roy was, and I think he has more, I guess, bearings than Roy. So I mean, I don't want to see this fight, of course, but truthfully, I think Oscar beats him. Like, and now Oscar beats him. Like, he still has the reflexes. I mean, maybe I'm being, you know, misled here, but I see some of Oscar De La Hoya's you know, clips on his Instagram page or his Facebook, and he looks to be in fantastic shape. So, you know, I'm not sure how many years he's younger than fucking Roy. I'm not sure what their age difference is there, but now, just seeing the way Roy was against Tyson, and again, you know, De La Hoya is no Tyson, so I get that. But seeing the reflexes of Roy, seeing the power that, you know, is diminished greatly. These guys fight again. I mean, not fight again, but fight De La Hoya wins. They go the distance, I feel. But I mean, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see these guys get hurt. Anybody, definitely not Roy. I mean, not to say that De La Hoya will knock him out per se, but I mean, we don't need more shots to the head here. Come on.
And, Andrew, go ahead.
It looks like Triller is putting De La Hoya as the face of the company. If you guys go to the Facebook page, you'll see that I shared a video Oscar shared this weekend of, it's basically a Triller commercial with him on it. All the fighters, then Cambosos and Lopez fight is on it. The Paul fight is on it with the MMA guy. So it looks like De La Hoya is backing up this Triller. Now, when the rumors first came out about De La Hoya making this comeback, there was a rumor saying that he was going to fight an MMA fighter. If you watch the video, guess what MMA fighter is being shown in the background?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Chuck Liddell. So I don't if this was a hint to if that's the guy that Oscar is trying to sign right now for his comeback fight. It makes sense, you guys. They were both stars in the same time. Chuck Liddell's a huge star. I can see his fans buying into this fight. And so, yeah, that came out this weekend. I don't know if Oscar was trying to tell everyone something, but it makes sense if that's the guy he's going to get matched up with. And look, Triller, like it, you don't like it. It's bringing a lot of eyes to boxing. There was a lot of fights on this weekend, right? We had the Showtime PBC card. We had the DAZN card. And when I sent you guys both a photo right now.
Yep.
When I looked up the PBC card, I said into my remote control, I said boxing. And did you guys see what I just sent you on what popped up?
Yes, Ben Askren versus.
Oh, no.
Right.
That's all it was, man. I literally had to go a page down to get real fighters. Hey, congratulations to Triller. If this is where it's going, I guess we guys. So I immediately said, all right, this Paul guy, I got to see who his opponent is. Man. Hey, that guy, I don't think he's going to beat Jake Paul. We're going to have to cover that fight. But, yeah, it looks like, hey, Miguel, you were the one saying that dude's nothing but a takedown artist. That's like all his highlights were.
Yeah, so he's a great wrestler, or was, I should say.
The best. He's literally the best wrestler.
He has such a good grappling style, but on the feet, he's so green.
But all of his stand-up, there's even one highlight. I think the one I sent you guys, there's a highlight reel that says boxing only. It's garbage. It's garbage. So, this is going to be a garbage fight we're going to see with Paul and him, but it's big. They're promoting the shit out of it. Look, if Oscar fights Liddell, that's probably going to be big for them. I see people buying into that fight for some fucking reason. I see that one doing good money. And then they have the Lopez fight coming up. So, yeah, man, looks like we're going to be talking about Triller a lot more here.
Moving forward, we're up to April 2nd. Let's move a little bit forward to April 3rd. The fight that we watched a couple of weeks ago, Jamal, don't call me Jamel, Semper Fi Herring, dominate and stops and ultimately fucks up Carl the Jackal Frampton in what I can only describe as somewhat of a mismatch. As a side note, shout out to MTK, hashtag MTK for life. We haven't done that in a while. Let's talk about this fight from a week ago. We all watched it. I start with you, Miguel. I enjoyed the fight. It was all right. You guys all hyped up Frampton like this was going to be a real scrap. And to be perfectly honest, this was not a real scrap. It was Jamel Herring beating the crap out of the Jackal.
Yeah, I mean that's what it turned out to be. We were. I mean, I was watching it and I was like, okay, this is going to be good. I'm expecting. I don't want to discredit Herring for the victory because he came in and he did what he needed to do. He looked great against a name opponent, probably the best name opponent of his career to date. So he did his part. It didn't look like it was the same Frampton I have to be honest. It did not look like it was the same Frampton from before. He was talking about the end of his career already, talking about if he lost, he was, already going to be retiring. That was already on his mind. It sounded like he already had one foot out the door. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, I was hoping they would come in with this extra inspiration to really put on a performance, and it just did not click at all. And it really did not look like the Frampton of old. But I don't want to take any credit away from Herring, because that isn't his fault. He came in and he did his damn thing. As a matter of fact, he was cut. His heart was questioned from this last fight. I forgot the opponent's name, but when he basically, they use the term "quit on the stool" from the cut. But here he was cut. I don't remember it being a headbutt. I think it was a legitimate punch, and he fought with the cut, and he fought on, and he stopped Frampton impressively. He stopped him impressively. So yes, unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be the fight that we're hoping for, but nonetheless, we got our answer. Herring is the better fighter. It is clearing up the 130-pound division even more so. So yeah, it sucks. I was rooting for Frampton. I kind of was. I'm not gonna say I wasn't, but I don't think it was the same Frampton. That being said, Herring 100% got the job done and kept his belt.
And
go ahead, Andrew.
Same Frampton. He's older. He moved up in weight. He's a smaller fighter. We leaned a little bit towards this. Yes, he was always in exciting fights, but there was disadvantages going into this, and they played huge in the fight. Listen, you can also say great matchmaking. They knew he was at the end of his career in the Warrington fight a year ago, or whenever that one took place. This is what makes Top Rank different from other promoters. They know when to they gave him a retirement check. Yep. Listen, didn't like the way the fight looked at all. Looked like like Miguel just said, he checked out before he ever got in, but there's nothing we can do. That's a decorated fighter. If that's what if this is the way he wanted to go out and match him in a mismatch kind of a setup, because that's what it looked like, then so be it. Nothing we can do against Herring. That's hats off to Top Rank to know when to pull a guy's card. That's all they did on that fight night.
There you go. With that said, let's take a quick break to tell you, in the future, when you guys don't have anything to watch or listen to because we're taking a break, go to justfrankandkillian.com. It has been said by Sam Navajero to tone down my crazy antics, so I have found an outlet in Just Frank and Killian. We've talked about this repeatedly on the show, that when you guys need a break and you want to see completely absurd shit that I could possibly do, I cannot stress it enough to check out Just Frank and Killian. Click on the Watch Now function on the website. It'll take you to the page. I cannot stress it enough. You should watch the trilogy of death of Killian, which includes me getting completely fucked up by a trash can. So much so that it's almost ridiculous. Back to Fight Net Radio. Go visit fight.net.radio on Facebook. Click like, subscribe, and carry on, or whatever, or bang on, or what are those stupid signs? Chive on? Is that too old, Miguel?
Yes. Carry on. No. We're in the same. We're in the right demographic.
All right, cool. Moving forward. Well, Tim Tszyu won, and then on April the 8th, after a long weekend of boxing, Zerfara Promotion popped up and offered Tim Tszyu $1 million to fight Australian Brian Amtruda, with the quote of, "I'm sick and tired of seeing Tim Tszyu make excuses and avoid what is Australians' biggest fight." They threw $1 million onto the table. I, for the life of me, have not gotten an answer to this. I'm sure I'm going to get a 6-page email from producer Sam Navajero on this particular topic. I think they just don't want to step backwards, even though they're offering $1 million. I don't think they're avoiding this dude in any way, shape, or form. But when this story came out, I don't know why they don't take $1 million. Like, this is like a no-brainer. I start with you, Miguel. It seems logical. The dude's ranked. I mean, meh.
I mean, it does seem logical. I mean, it's I don't know. I think that maybe they're skeptical. That's just like, all right, this is a lot of money. Of course, any other young boxer would be, would jump on it and be like, okay, cool, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm going to take it. But I think they're going to sleep on this one. I'm not sure if they're too quick to hop on and get the payday. They're bringing Sue up slowly, which is the right way to do it. And I'm kind of skeptical on this one. I'm not sure if it would be. It seems like it would be an easy $1 million. I mean, but we don't know yet, of course. But I don't know. I think Tim's team is taking them slowly and not jumping on it and not jumping the gun and blowing their wad, going immediately for the $1 million fight. I think it's a good idea. I say sleep on this one.
Andrew.
Yeah. It's $1 million. They're going to make that easy with this.
How did we lose Andrew? Did you eat your tablet, Andrew?
I'm here.
There you go. You just dropped off. Go ahead.
Oh, I think I had my hand over the microphone. I think that's what it was. Okay.
Nice job.
All right, I'm back. Listen,
$1 million. Keep going forward.
They're going to make this $1 million easy on this fight. This young man, he's fought in Jeff Horn and he's fought in who's the Australian legend? Oh man, his name just left me.
He fought Paul Hogan. That's an Australian legend.
No, the legend, the guy that Jeff Horn fought. They fought on pay-per-view. He beat him like
yeah. That dude. It's Australian boxing. Who watches it besides Sam Navajero?
Mundine. Yes.
Yeah.
Mundine, is that it?
Anthony Mundine. I thought it was Mundine. I don't know.
Mundine, all right. Yeah, because we got an email, Lee. We're supposed to know how to say that. But look, this young man.
No, we're really not. Nor does anybody.
He stopped him in one round, which was like a Carl Frampton type fight. Didn't look impressive at all. But I believe that was his last opponent. Does that ring a bell, Miguel?
Who's last opponent?
Zarafa.
Oh, was it? I think it was. It does ring a bell. Yes.
And because they were trying to build up the Zoo fight, and then the kid went and knocked out Mundine in one round, which was kind of like, I don't know what it was. But no, it's here. This is it. This fight will sell out Australia. It'll do big on DAZN or whoever, the ESPN, whoever buys it. Yeah, they're gonna make this fight 100%.
There you go. Moving forward. Next, there's a new opponent for Munguia. Well, for those of you who don't know, Jaime Munguia sold out the Dick Center. Oh, no, this time it's the Don Hopkins Center. Sorry, I just like saying the Dick Center in Texas. This time we're at the University of Texas El Paso at the Don Hopkins Dick Center for Oscar De La Hoya's next big fight. Middleweight contender Demetrius Big Meech. Is that the same? It would be funnier if it was Big Mitch. You're a Mitch. Ballard, 20-0 with 13 KOs, will step in to face Jaime Munguia for the WBO Intercontinental title. If you're wondering if that title makes any sense, no, it does not. The fact that there are sub-WBO belts is just a joke. Originally scheduled to fight was Masek Sulki, who forced to pull out of the fight due to an injury or just didn't want to go to Texas and get COVID. I don't personally think it makes a difference. I think everybody's going to see Jaime fight and possibly get a photo with Oscar and or catch COVID because it's Texas. I start with you this time, Andrew. Do you even care who Jaime Munguia is fighting?
No, I just wanted to tell you that Mundine did get knocked out by Zarafa. That's how much I don't care about Munguia's opponent. But yeah, that is true. Zoo and his Zarafa should be made in Australia. It's going to be big. It's going to be big for Zoo. Jaime Munguia, yeah, there's a replacement. That's never good for a fight. It really, that sucks that the main event got dropped. So that's about all I got for that.
Okay. Miguel, any insight you wish to add to this breaking story?
No, I mean, it isn't whether it's the original opponent or this new opponent here, Ballard. I mean, I'm going to tune in to watch. I have DAZN, of course. I already paid for the damn subscription, so I'm going to watch it, of course. But I'm not too intrigued by the fight. I'm not too interested in seeing, Ballard I mean, 20 fights, 13 KOs. No real notable names on his record. I think like he hasn't won since like March of like 2019. He's had like a draw and a no contest since then or something. So, I mean, dude clearly needs a payday. I'm not too interested in watching it. It's going to be on, so of course I'm going to watch it. But it's just another Munguia opponent, literally.
Yeah, go ahead.
If there's a betting line on this fight, you always look at the underdog when it's an Munguia opponent because he takes a lot of punches, Lee. He's taken a lot of punches his whole career. He's not getting any younger. His foundation was getting rocked a little in his last fight. So this is a fighter that I've never seen advance in his career. He's always had the same fight, face first, not that much defense, all offense, in love with his power. And with Ballard having a decent knockout percentage, if the casinos are given a line or online site, you look at the underdog always in a Munguia matchup.
Hey, this is an opportunity to tell you that on days that FightNet Radio has a break, head on over to YouTube and check out @FightFiendMiggs. You can watch this awesome introduction that has awesome rock music at FightFiendMiggs. There he is, Miguel Antonio Barragan.
Thank you for the shameless plug.
More importantly, check out his multi-episode Chocolito Estrada prediction and horseshit with the lightweight. More importantly, if you're looking for a fix, you can check us out. We do other stuff. Go and check out Fight Fiend Miggs on YouTube. Shameless plug for one of our boys. Moving forward, shot of the day from April 9th. Female bantamweight Ebane Bridges. We'll talk about her momentarily. Female bantamweight Ebane. This is when you really should be watching the video, just so I can do a shameless cha-cha-cha. She was fighting this past weekend for the vacant WBA World Female Bantamweight title in London. We'll talk about her fight momentarily, but let's just talk about her weigh-in God damn. First of all, she bought fake breasts. Those are not real. Does anybody on the team think that those are real? I start with you, Andrew Lapachet. Are those real or fake?
No, those are fake, and Eddie Hearn was caught not keeping his eyes forward, let's say.
As he shouldn't. I mean, they're out on display in her Victoria's Secrets, and the tattoo right here around the left on sort of that P line between the break and the going right to the God damn. She should really do Playboy. Plus, she's a little muscular. I like this. If she played golf and liked my music, I could get into it. I don't know what I'd talk to her about, but Miguel Antonio Barragan, fake or real?
Real expensive, I would say.
Yeah.
Definitely not real as if she was born with them. They were natural. No, that's not how it works. No, they absolutely not. Look at the size of those motherfuckers. Yeah.
Understandable. And I will say this to save your ass here, Andrew. Certainly she's not as hot as the date you had for your birthday. However, I'm going to give her, I'm in San Diego, so my ratings are a little skewed. I think she's a 9. I think Ebane Bridges is a solid, even by San Diego standards. This is a 9. Andrew, I realize she's not a 10 like your date. Where do you rank this person?
Yes, definitely very high for a woman boxer. Yes, you would say definitely a 9, Lee.
Miguel, are you picking up the Playboy issue?
I tend to lean towards brunettes. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a little bit too picky, but she's up there in the numbers. Yes, she's up there.
Wow. All right.
Very picky. Very picky.
Very picky. Yeah, you're going to throw her out of bed. What are you doing here? You blonde. Get away from me, you
dye your hair before you get back into this bed.
Yeah, right. Put a wig on, bitch.
You could send that drink back.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go with a retro joke. Former world champion Wilfredo Vasquez is returning to the ring. Here's the joke. Isn't he dead? I start with you, Miguel Antonio Barragan. Isn't Wilfredo Vasquez dead?
Not, I mean, Junior? No. Wilfredo Vasquez Jr.
Oh, Junior.
Absolutely is not dead. No.
Junior. By the way, it's in the title for those watching the video going, I don't get the joke. I'm watching the video. That was an audio joke after I just showed a titty pic in the previous joke for the video people. See, I work it both ways. Does anybody even care about Vasquez Jr.? I mean, is he doing anything at all, Miguel?
I mean, no. I mean, it's like, he's won like, 2 of his last 5 fights. I don't know why he's continuing. He had a little bit of a name going. He won I think a championship, WBO championship earlier in his career. So at this point, it's just he still has all of his bearings, his marbles. He should just kind of call it a career. He's done. He put his little imprint in the boxing history as being the junior Wilfredo Vasquez Jr. But I mean, he's not really doing much lately.
Andrew Lapachet, anything on Vasquez? Other than his dad was great and the kid isn't?
Nope.
I think he's got his hand over the mic again. Oh. Hand over the mic, Andrew.
Oh, did he drop the tablet?
I don't know. Did you drop the tablet? It's like a quiet moment in the show. It's so quiet now.
The suspense is killing me.
The suspense, right? Maybe he's like giving like a 20-minute dissertation about Wilfredo Vasquez.
I know. And we're missing out on it.
Just slightly before my eras. It's right on that cusp of the Sugar Ray Leonard era. People really, I don't want to put Vasquez over, but people talk about Wilfredo Vasquez like he was God. Have you ever deep dived Vasquez, Miguel?
Not deep dive, no. I mean, I've taken a look at like the highlight reels. I'm familiar with his name, of course, and his history. But no, I mean, like as far as like deep diving, going into like watching full fights of his, no. I've seen highlights definitely, but no, nothing that deep.
Andrew is back from the bathroom. Andrew, did you see where they dug up Wilfredo Vasquez for a fight?
Oh.
He hasn't back yet. Andrew, are you back? Is this one of Andrew's children? And do you know more than Andrew? Because that would be the funniest moment in the show. What is he doing with the tablet? How did he mess this up? We were all so very close to what amounts to a borderline perfect show with the new recording system. Andrew, can you hear us on Moz? Come in. Andrew.
It sounds like you put a tablet in his back pocket or something.
Andrew. I guess I'm done with that joke. We'll see if Andrew comes back.
Okay.
Let's move forward to talk about Elaine Bridges again.
Oh.
I'm a savage, and I want to go in there and fuck shit up. That's her actual quote when she weighed in. Again, we'll be talking about her fight here momentarily. Again, I go back to you, Miguel, since I don't have Andrew. You're telling me if she jumps into bed and says, I want to fuck this shit up, you're kicking her out of bed?
I won't go that far. I won't go
back,
that far.
Andrew.
I'm saying
you're
she's
back,
up
by
there.
the way, Andrew.
Okay.
You don't have to fix it.
Off the hook. Thank you.
Sorry. He was about to have Chris jump on the line. All right. Miguel, if she jumps into bed and says, I'm going to fuck this shit up, you're saying no.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I prefer brunettes, but in no way, shape, or form would I not smash. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I'm saying that if she jumped into my bed and said, I'm savage, I want to go in there and fuck this shit up while she was in bed with me. One, I'd be a little scared. A little, not a lot. I don't think she knows jiu-jitsu. I think I got an advantage here. Number two, I probably wouldn't let her be on top. I'm just saying, in general, that's probably just the safe move.
Right.
I'm not going to ask Andrew because Chris might still be standing around. And why get Andrew into any trouble while Chris is standing around?
Why do that?
Why do that? Moving forward, we have a Fury Joshua update. WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury took to social media to give an update on the big fight getting finalized, which has been finalized, talked about, finalized, and it's really finalized, and we really have a contract. We really don't have a location, but both fighters are going to fight 3 fights of the 4 fights. Now it's a 5 fight. Okay. Just got big news, said Fury, who weekly does this. 3 of our 4 big offers on the table are from Saudi Arabia, my gypsy brothers in Qatar, Uzbekistan, who, as you remember, the dude who died who was in charge of the pizza chain who ran for president, who said Uzbekistan, and got in trouble with the media for that. Russia, America, and England. There's some big offers on the table. I'm going to go through them on Sunday and hopefully get this big fight on Let's Smash the Big Dosser. I say that, and I start with you, Andrew. Hopefully it's all working again. The Weekly Fury update, Andrew. Are you surprised, or are you just rigid to all the ridiculous updates to a fight that isn't really finalized? God, it was so close, and it was actually working for a split second.
Me too.
I felt so good about it. He was there.
I was
working.
confident that it would work.
I did too. I heard him, and he was talking. Guys, I don't do an Andrew. I do. We asked Bob Aram. Bob, what do you feel? The fight's made. God damn it. I don't know why everybody asks. The fight's been made, and that's all that's important. We've signed a 3-fight, $2 billion deal. We just need a location to pay for it. Qatar's got the goddamn oil as well as the Saudis. So one of these fuckers with lots of money is going to pay for it. Uzbekistan is bullshit as well as Russia. Just get it straight. It's Qatar or the goddamn Arab.
It says speaker off.
You're working, Andrew. Now talk. Oh, so close.
So far.
It says speaker off.
Andrew,
see?
how did you turn the speaker off and the mic on?
That's on your...
Maybe that's for Lee? No.
No. What did he do? What did you do, Andrew? What did you do?
Okay. Speaker.
I am only hoping that something funny doesn't happen in this moment that will be recorded forever. If I was a good guy, I'd push pause, but I'm not.
No, but why would you? Why would you?
It's good. We should do play-by-play. So, can you? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be Sergio Mora, or do you want to be?
Yes. If we're gonna put this under a telescope, we should take a look at what Andrew is doing. I think we should take a look at his record and put it under a telescope.
Listen, I did a deep dive this week on him. Listen. I've been studying him all week, and this isn't new for Andrew. He constantly screws up technology like this. I've seen it time and time again on the video while I was doing my homework on this.
Was that your Chris Mannix? Was that your Chris Mannix?
No, that was Sergio.
Come
on, that was a Sergio for sure. The Latin snake. Andrew. That's Andrew Lapachet, by the way, people. I can't stress this enough.
Really gonna leave off, and that's so stupidly.
No, it's all right. I'll probably trim it out because I'm a nice guy. Hey, when you don't have any content or media and you want to find out more about us and what we do in our spare time, just type in Andrew Lapachet and follow him on social media. That was actually a funny joke because it isn't anything kind of entertainment based. That was a joke that I've been working on literally for the last hour and a half. I digress. Let's talk about boxing and wrap this whole show up. Conor Benn stops Vargas in 1 round. All right. First of all, as a side note, the hot blonde got fucked up. We all saw it. All right.
Yeah.
Quickly. And then Savannah Marshall called out Clarissa Shields. Hey! All right. Conor Benn, moving forward. Conor Benn, I'm going to tell you why I was compelled by the Conor Benn fight and why I enjoyed it immensely. Number one was them literally blowing Vargas to make him sound like a credible opponent because he was able to go 12 rounds with higher-rated boxers. Then his dad blowing him in the pre-show. And then ultimately him stopping the fight so goddamn quick that it was ridiculous. It was what he was doing on the stage that made me believe that he'll be signed with the PBC in about a week. I start with you this time, Andrew Lapachet. Did you, 1, see anything out of Conor Benn? 2, I think he came off like a big giant cocksucker that Eddie Hearn tried to talk down like a rogue missile.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I liked his combinations. I liked his he finished them off. That was nice. Power was there. Everything looked good. And you hit it right on the head, Lee. It all went downhill as soon as they put him in front of a microphone. You're talking about a young man who hasn't made, probably $100,000 yet on a check, and he's already acting like this with Eddie Hearn and on, a live telecast or out in public. Looked like he was going to jump all over Eddie Hearn on some of the things, and Hearn kind of said he didn't know if he was ready. Right away, he started talking about, I'm gonna retire young with a bunch of M's in my bank account. Just all of it didn't sound good at all. This is what sells tickets, though. A lot of these young men know this, so they try to play that role. Conor Benn looks like he's going down that path already at this young age. I did like what I seen in the ring. Did not like what I heard after on the microphone.
Neither did I. I just thought, what a cocksucker. Miguel Antonio Barragan, did you get a chance to watch Conor Benn destroy Vargas?
Yes, I did, indeed. It wasn't like it was a long fight anyway, so it was something I can squeeze in between the other fights. He did what he was supposed to. I was expecting more rounds out of this fight. Of course, Vargas, even though he has been stopped before, he's a guy who's durable, and I expected him to be in there for more rounds. But Ben immediately jumped on him, and didn't give him a chance to breathe at all, and finished him off rather quickly. So that part was definitely impressive. He had the tools. A couple of weekends ago, we were talking about Ricky Hatton's son, and the little bits and pieces that we're like looking for, and we don't want to be too quick to judge or anything like that, or like be too harsh as far as criticism with Ricky Hatton's son. But when we see Ben, it's like, holy shit, this is what we're expecting to see from the juniors, the guys who have come from like second generation or who are second generation boxers. This is the shit that we're expecting to see. So I was impressed. I was like, all right, cool. He took out a guy who was generally pretty durable, and he did it quickly. And I love the combination, man. He caught him, and he did not let him off the hook one fucking bit. He saw his opportunity and went in for the kill. That's a killer instinct. I loved it. His interviewing skills afterwards, not so much. We know, generally speaking, these young English guys, Americans as well, but they can be pretty brash and cocky, on the mic and stuff like that, and they kind of be, their heads are a little blown up. So understandably, that's kind of his perspective, I guess, his role that he's going to play, the bad guy type of role. I don't like it. He's not there yet. He shouldn't be talking like that yet. He's on the way up. Let him accomplish something major before he starts talking the way he was
Amir
talking.
Khan, bro. Amir
Khan.
Khan.
I didn't
Amir
like that
Khan.
one bit, so I'm just like,
Amir
okay,
Khan. He could
muted
stop
him.
doing reality shows, bro. Amir Khan. Amir Khan. It's the only name I know. Amir Khan.
Really sad that he kept saying that was the test he's looking for, is Amir Khan. Total money grab. Total money grab. That's all he's looking for.
As a recurring segment on this show now, and as a weekly, Amir Khan, can he drop me with the left while holding his $20 English beer? I start with you, Andrew Lapachet.
Well, Amir Khan will knock you the fuck out. No, Amir Khan has skills. He has no chin, Lee. There's a difference there.
Miguel?
Yes, he will cure your bleeder and then give you another one. That's how much he'll knock you out.
Damn it.
Will he spill his beer?
Oh, no, he will not spill his beer. He will absolutely not spill his beer.
He's still in his prime. That is the telltale tape. Enjoy, people. Moving over to the ESPN card, Ashabaga Baga Baga and the Real Big Baby.
Not get the beer test confused with how bad his chin is. He's still not a test anymore in the welterweight division for an up and coming.
Could his beer not come out?
Yeah. Let's not get it twisted. If he was trying to knock out Lee, that's great. But he is no test at this point in his career. Amir Khan is not a test anymore for any young fighter coming up at 17-0. You knock out Amir Khan, you just get added to a list of many guys that have knocked out fucking Amir Khan. That's it.
And you add a name to your list, basically. You add a name, a recognizable name to your resume.
It's the biggest fight, mate. It's the biggest fight. It's the biggest fight, mate. Make it right now, Eddie. I don't need to talk to my team right now.
It's also a career, Andrew, though, too, right? If he loses that fight, say he's not ready. Say Eddie Hearn's
Eddie Hearn's thinking.
Yeah. Say he's right and he's not ready. Well, that's it for Connor ever coming over here and thinking he's going to be anything either.
Agreed. Which is why Eddie said, "Take a breath, mate." I don't do an accent. I don't do an English accent. But watching Eddie Hearns trying to talk him down was the best part of that interview. Oh, so good. Moving forward, Aja Baga 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 and the real big baby score early knockouts over the tin can Bob puts in front of him. They weren't tin cans. Don't sleep on those guys. Prince Albert in a can was definitely worth it. Oh, wait. I don't know. Bullfrog. Yeah, that's who he fought. Bullfrog. Bullfrog was the real deal. And MVP. What a fighter at 15-5. You should see his 12 knockouts. Thank you, Bob. Andrew, you watched the entire ESPN card. Did you learn anything about F.A. Ajaja Baga Baga and the real big baby, Jared Anderson, which is basically a lead-in to the two of them fighting, I guess? I don't know where this is going for Bob. Listen, they're both great, and I had more heavyweights on the car. I had Lippy and Dippy and Shitty and Jermel Milton and Bullfrog. I mean, what Prince Albert in a can? What can you ask for in a great night like that? Andrew, did you learn anything from this heavyweight explosion of goo that spilled all over the screen?
Anderson that fight was a joke. Listen, he landed a body shot, Lee. I don't, maybe it hurt, maybe it didn't. I'm not here to judge, but we got it, and we got nothing from that fight. Absolutely nothing but a W, a paycheck, a little time filled on an ESPN card is about all you take away from the Anderson fight. The other young man, what's Ajaba?
Fuck me, Ajaba. Effing Ajabaga.
Good knockout, solid power. He landed the guy was out before he hit the ground. So that's a good highlight reel knockout there for him. Anderson was not even a highlight reel. When Anderson walks away, he kind of shrugs his shoulders. I don't know if ESPN showed that to make it seem like, look, Anderson's not impressed too, but he totally walks away and kind of just shrugs his shoulder like he knew he didn't really hit that guy. That guy wanted no part of the ring. He was fat as hell. He had titties. His titties were wobbling when he got hit with the body shot. It was bad. No, this was pathetic. It was a real bad mismatch. And so there was nothing we could take away from that fight. As far as these two meeting up at some point, I don't know if Anderson is in the same time frame as Ajaba. Ajaba seems a little bit, I would say, further ahead than him. I think they're leaning more to giving these guys to Tyson Fury a year and a half down the line if he's successful against Joshua, which many think he is going to be. Not too many people have Joshua winning that fight. He has the power advantage, but overall, Tyson Fury's the favorite in both. So if Tyson comes out of there the king, these guys are going to be ESPN fucking, time slots, man. Easy paychecks for Top Rank. And they'll be ready, too, with the way Top Rank has both of these guys fighting. They'll both be in their 20-0 by the time they're ready to take on Fury.
Andrew, most importantly, was there enough time in the fight for Tim Bradley to find the real big baby and or effing Ajak Baga's natural punch? See, he got the joke and he didn't hear the earlier joke, Miguel. That's how strong that joke is.
There was a lot of gap filler yesterday on ESPN. They were all knockouts, I believe. I think every fight ended.
Yeah, everything it took 90 minutes to get to the main event or something ridiculous. Like there was nothing.
It definitely was at least an hour they had to fill to the main event. At least an hour.
At least. Miguel Antonio Barragan, did you learn anything from the jizz gelato that is the heavyweight explosion in Oklahoma?
No, I mean, these opponents were 100% beatable, right? Which is kind of their job. For those of you who are familiar with wrestling terminology, the jobbers are the guys that were in there meant to lose. These guys were basically two jobbers. Is essentially what they do. Their job was to lose, and they came in here and did the job. Jared Anderson's opponent, Jeremiah Carr, whatever the hell his name is, dude looked horrendous. Like just the weigh-ins. I mean, the guy does not look like he's ever lifted a fucking weight in his life or threw a punch in his life. Like, if you see him in the weigh-ins, you're like, good Lord. But, I mean, whatever. Another victory, another stoppage, for Anderson, 9-0, 9 KOs or whatever. So we didn't really learn much. I don't think Jared learned much from himself in that fight either. So it's just another guy added to the record, another jobber. As far as a Jogba go, a Jogba, Effie? I mean, he reiterated, what we were kind of suspecting. In his previous fight, he didn't look as good, and fucking Timothy Bradley chewed our ear out with this. He rammed it down our fucking throats time and time again about how he hated how Hogba looked in the last fight. Apparently, he was having some issues with his elbows or something along those lines. But this time, he's healed. He got everything taken care of and remedied, and he came out and he took the dude out. His opponent, wasn't Howard, MVP. Again, just another jobber. The guy, he was taking some shots. They said it earlier. If he was able to move Effie back, Effie doesn't know how to fight, going backwards, and that's kind of the hard part because the guy's a big dude and he's kind of intimidating, right? So it's kind of hard to walk a guy like that down. But you let him walk you down, and he's going to catch you, and ultimately that's what happened. But we didn't learn much more from Effie, but I would like to see, that he's been through some adversity before. So I want to see him in trouble. We need to start moving up. I don't know what his record is, but we need to start really, really pushing up the competition on these guys here because it's getting to maybe not Anderson yet because he's still in the single digits, but what the fuck is Hogby's record anyways? 15-0. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to start pushing him up the competition here real soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
With that, we turn it over to Bob Arum to talk about one of his new prospects, Trey Morrison. The kid of Tommy Morrison. It was really unsatisfying, the TKO over Jason Bateman. But Bateman seemingly dropped Morrison in round 1. I don't know what it was. I think it was a slip. It's bullshit. I was yelling at the referee. Well, neither here nor there. The kid doesn't have AIDS, so he's got a promising future at 17-0 with 17 KOs. Back to you, Jim. Moving forward. Ancajas. German pretty boy Ancajas retained his title against Jonathan Rodriguez in a slugfest on Saturday night from the Mohegan Sun Arena, Euconsville, Connecticut. I turned to my PBC expert, Miguel Antonio Barragan. Was it a slugfest, as you put it, a good scrap?
It certainly was. It hella was. I mean, I don't think these guys like PBC and HBO Showtime are doing I think they're still doing the bubble, so they're not having fans in there yet.
Sphere.
So it's like,
get it right, bro.
Oh, that's right. The fight
sphere.
It's the fight sphere. So they don't have fans in there, and these mics that they have on these cameras are catching every fucking shot. Holy hell, the punches echo like a motherfucker. And these guys are 100 super flyweights or 150-pound guys. Man, the shots these guys were landing were like, holy crap! It sounded so freaking hard in that little arena that they're in there. But man, was it a damn scrap? Hell yeah, dude! Like, this is an entertaining fight, a very entertaining fight.
Since Andrew refuses to watch the PBC, we'll cover it all very quickly here. Okay. Moving over to the main event, which was Enos versus Lipschitz. Lipschitz got fucked up hard. And again, let's talk about those over-miking of the punches and the which was mic'd up so high it was almost comical. What did you take away from Enos looking up Sergey Lipschitz? Who, even in his corner, the great Goosen could only come up with, yeah, that kind of worked. Do it again.
Yeah. He was like, you had him there at the end of the round. To do that again. That's pretty much what he was.
That was actually his advice in one of the rounds, which was hilarious.
It was pretty hilarious. Enos, he seems to be the real deal. This is what it's looking like. It looks like this dude is the real deal. Lipinets, he is a champion at 140. The guy was just way too small. And he's only had 16 or 17 fights or whatever. But he won the title at 13 fights. So it's kind of a big deal. This was supposed to be his biggest test, and Enos passed it with flying colors. He had every advantage. He had the speed advantage, he had the power advantage, he had the height, the reach, everything worked perfectly, and he used every one of that to his benefit, to his advantage. And even when he was on the inside, it was like Lipinets was just not able to get his shots off, or more so, Enos wasn't allowing him to. And even on the inside, with Enos's reach and his long arms, his punches still were a lot harder and still were landing way harder. This kid is a real deal, and I don't know if he's going to, Jim Gray, I think, asked him after the fight, is anybody going to want to fight you, right? He's like, well, I hope so. I'm pretty sure the top guys at 147 are probably going to, keep their eye on this dude and might want to stay away from him, because I think Enos is a real deal.
Which takes us to our main event of the evening, the fight all three of us watched, and was the fight of the weekend. Will we all agree that this was the fight of the weekend?
Yes.
Joe, the common man Smith, who we had to hear about at least 1 hour's worth of him being a former tree trimming contractor, union worker against Maxim Vlasov in what I can only describe as wow, and wow that Vlasov kind of got jobbed in the scoring. With all of that said, this was a great fight. Smith edges out. It should have probably been a draw based on my scorecards. If I was judging scoring cards. All right. I start with you, Andrew Lapachet. You probably scored it and watched it mentally. Talk about probably the best fight of a weekend full of fights.
Yeah, I'll start with the Showtime main event because...
I didn't know you watched it. I apologize.
It's all right. It's all right. I only watch it because they talk about the young man Enos being the future, right? And he's one of the prospects. Look, I love the guy's offense. I love his power. I think the problem is he's a little bit too in love with it too. He's got to learn some defense. He's got to learn some better inside defense when he's in the phone booth trading shots. He will not be able to trade shots like this with the best of the division. He was very lucky. He was fighting a what should be probably only a junior welterweight fighter. I think Lipinets is way out of his division at 147. He looked at the night of the fight. So while it was he passed with flying colors, I did not like how much he got hit on this night. I don't even see him taking that many left hooks from a fighter like Danny Garcia, where Danny Garcia has shown with his resume that he can take the punches of the elites in the division. Enos hasn't. So I know a lot of people are dropping names out there like they want to see him come up and fight one of these bigger PBC guys. I would ask, if I was his trainer or the people behind him, that we get him into another fight and him show a little better defense, not all offense, and then work him into the higher ranks. The main event, the ESPN main event, Smith versus Galazov, however you say his last name.
Vlasov.
Whose wife had 5 stops to get here from the border of Uzbekistan and had to stop 5 times to make it here for this fight.
Listen, it was a close fight until after the 10th round, man. He might have won the fight if it stops in 10. That's one thing you always hear, the Duran-Hagler fight. If it was only 12, Duran wins, but it was 15. In this fight, if it's 10, he wins, but it was 12, and Smith takes the final 2 rounds. And that's what ultimately on my scorecard, I was like, well, he won this fight. Even if you don't give him the 11th, you're like, okay, dude's got to win the 12th. You don't come over here, take away titles from guys like Joe Smith, who, he's got all the momentum right now. You've seen ESPN building him. You've seen about how many times he's the underdog and he wins. He's the market. You got to win one of the last 2 rounds. And in my scorecard, he lost them both. And I thought it was going to be a unanimous decision, guys. I did not expect it to even be a majority. But it's a good fight. You just can't lose the last 6 minutes of the fight.
And Andrew, I'm getting a note in my ear.
Andrew, this is Bob Arum. Did you know that Joe Smith was a journeyman and a contractor and a tree trimmer and a union guy?
Yes, they very much shove that down our throats almost every fight.
Also, Andrew, did you know Maxim's wife had to stop 5 times to get to Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Is that why you should have won? They traveled a lot.
Did you notice I didn't travel to Tulsa, Oklahoma because it's a shithole?
As a side note, as my family's from Tulsa, and I wrote that joke. Ha ha! Miguel Antonio Barragan. Fight of the weekend might even be. I think it's in running for top contender for fight of the month since we're only 11 days in, but we've had a lot of boxing in the last couple of weeks. What'd you think of the Common Man?
Well, it's a nice story. It's a nice, it's a nice heartwarming story of the Common Man, right? They showed at the very beginning with fucking Kriegel going through all the box rec Joe Smiths that there were. They really, drove that point home. We get it. But it's definitely the fight of the weekend. It was the most competitive fight of all the main events. So it's definitely, that's what we like to see, right? We don't necessarily always want to see one-sided ass whoopings. We want to see competitive fights, and this is exactly what that was. It seemed as though Smith Jr. started kind of slow, like his timing was off. It seemed as though Vlasov's punches were just landing cleaner and easier than Joe Smith's. But as they said it, of course, during the broadcast, the power. Smith Jr.'s power is just a great equalizer.
His natural punch.
It's natural punch. It's the great equalizer. Every time he landed on Vlasov, he would stop him dead in his fucking tracks. So it was a very entertaining fight. I didn't actually score it round by round, but at the end of the fight, it did seem like Vlasov should have gotten the win. I haven't scored it myself. I want to rewatch it and actually score it round by round, as if I was a judge, to see if I would have gone with that decision. But I can see why the close rounds were given to Smith, considering all the promotional that ESPN was putting behind them. I kind of feel bad for Vlasov. They also mentioned this several times through the broadcast about this being Vlasov's first title shot in 16-year career or whatever the hell, right? So I feel bad for him. It's kind of like these dudes were really fighting for their careers here. It felt, at least. But I'm happy for Smith Jr. He got himself a win and got himself that WBO title. Against other light heavyweights, though, that's a tough one. I know he wants to unify. That's what he mentioned after the fight. I don't know that's a good idea, but fuck it. If the dude's gonna, he's a man's man. He's gonna go out there and throw down, and he's gonna want to unify the titles against the best in the division. I'm not sure if he'll be able to do so successfully, but hey, it's gonna be fun watching him try.
Now,
brings up. Yeah, go ahead.
His next fight is going to be his biggest check, so he's got to take it. I don't care who it's against or how big of an underdog he's going to be, because he is the average man, right? So he knows that this $1 million he's going to make, he needs to save, he needs to invest, he needs to do everything to make sure he doesn't end up back at the labor job, the union job, working 40 hours a week again. So I think he takes the fight no matter what. Now, what I'm kind of puzzled on is, did you guys not have him winning the last 2 rounds of that fight?
I didn't score it round by round. I was watching the fight as a whole, but I'm gonna score it. I'm gonna see if how it was, because it seemed as though Vlasov was it the 11th, the one that I think was a closer round, of the Vlasov probably winning the 11th. I think it was the 11th. I don't remember specifically, but I'm going to have to rewatch it and rescore it because I didn't score round by round originally.
Andrew, I know that it's not appropriate for me to talk about boxing. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I was just saying the fight was very close in the 9th, the 10th. They were building this up, because how I seen it, I thought the power of Smith showed up early. I thought he was rocking the opponent. He was getting the crowd was behind him. So yes, I am one of those fans that know I don't score. What's the best way to say this? Like, I don't score like a fan. Like, sometimes fans look at boxing, they're like, no, you got to call it down the line. And it's like, no, dude, we all know that's not how this shit's called. We all know it. You don't come over here and win close rounds doing fucking just little shit. You got to take it to Joe Smith. You got to win. You got to take it out of the crowd. And then let me tell you something else. I didn't like that the referee didn't count the knockdown. Punching the back of the head might have happened, but the intent was not there, and Glassoff was doing a terrible job of bending over every time they clinched. So I didn't like that wasn't counted as a knockdown, which would even gave Joe Smith the win even further, if not stop the guy, because then they give him this fucking 5-minute break on some shit that I thought he bent over on. I thought the punch was already being thrown before. It wasn't like Joe Smith said, "Oh, back of the head, bang," and hit him there. That's not what I seen. It looked accidental, and it looked like the Glassoff, I don't know how to say his name, it was doing more of the bending over, putting himself in harm's way than Joe Smith was actually going out and trying to hit him behind the head. So I didn't like that call. You seen the referee then lets him go to his corner, his fucking his trainer and his promoter lose their shit on that on the sideline or by the ring. So it was it's a close fight, but gosh darn guy, you can't lose the last 6 minutes, and I thought he lost the last 6 minutes. I did, like I said, I didn't think this was even going to be that close. I know ESPN has every fight close. If it ain't a blowout, it's almost like they have to try to make it a fight sometimes. But no, then I thought Joe Smith pulled away. I thought he showed his heart at the very end when he looked like he was getting tired in those middle rounds. He pulled out in the last 4 again. Didn't win them all, but he pulled the fight out again in the last 4 with just heart, determination, and he doesn't want to go back. I don't think he likes that hard hat, Lee.
Well, that takes us to the final point, which was brought up no less than 46 times on the telecast. Artur Butterbean. I'll just say it right now. Bob is clearly setting this guy up to fight Artur Butterbean. And I will safely tell you guys this all right now. Bet the farm on Artur Butterbean versus the Common Man. I would imagine the odds should reflect that, but it's about as safe of money as you get. Neither of these guys are even remotely in the hemisphere of Artur Butterbean. I start with you, Andrew. Artur Butterbean versus probably both guys in the same night, but let's just go with Joe Smith.
Listen, bet the farm. I don't know about that. I've seen these fighters come over to America and lay eggs before, and they look devastating. They're knockout artists. They're everything and above. Joe Smith is trained here. He's from America. He trains in the hardest circuit there is in boxing. He's well accomplished in the hardest circuit, as we've seen 3 times, 4 times the underdog against someone who's supposed to be better, and he knocks them out or beats them. No, do not bet the house against Joe Smith. You don't know who's going to show up on that night when he fights Butterbean. And I, personally, I have to see a lot more Butterbean than what it's shown so far. I know the record stands out at 16-0-16, but just there's not a lot of American fighters on that resume to say that he's coming over here and beating Joe Smith. Joe Smith fights in the hardest circuit in boxing.
As a side note and a programming note, Andrew said the same thing about Alexander Usyk. Miguel Antonio Barragan.
Is he beaten? Hold on. Wait. Time out. Wait. Where's Usyk at?
Wait, you mean the only unified cruiserweight champion in the history of the cruiserweight division?
You can say, like, Anthony Joshua came over here and got handled by Andy Ruiz. Are you fucking serious right now? Like, it's shit like that, dude. No, we've seen this before. Even like a Triple G. Even Triple G got shut out by Canelo when he really stepped up. And I think he got, the first fight, they have it closer than what it is. But that Lomachenko gets shut out by Teofimo Lopez, 15-0? 15-0 and he shuts you down? Like, I don't know, whatever. Nah, I'm not a, Butterbean. We'll see what happens when he comes over here. But don't bet the house against Joe Smith. He's beating the best over here, Lee.
As a programming note, Andrew said the same thing about Klitschko until Klitschko got his shit together and then ultimately lost to Tyson Fury.
Fighting in America. Lee's absolutely talking trash right now, and Klitschko never been fought in America. And there's a reason why.
It's a comedy show, Andrew. It's my job.
Whatever. Don't start with that. Yeah, we'll see what the odds are when he fights Better Beef. Maybe I'll put some money on Joe Smith.
As
We'll
a
be like,
programming note, a week ago, both of these guys picked the guy who was going to lose, and I picked the guy who won.
We didn't even know he didn't know how to handle a jab right hand. Oh, wow.
Miguel.
Definitely not. Don't bet the house. Maybe the car. That might be a safer.
Again.
That might be a safer bet.
I mean, could go flashback moment.
I would say, of course, Better Beef is the favorite and probably a slightly heavy favorite. He's a unified champ, right? But as I mentioned earlier, the great equalizer is the power. If Joe Smith can't land that shot on fucking Better Beef, who knows? Who knows? You know, because we're talking about a better resume over here with fucking Joe Smith, 27 fights, you know, as opposed to 16 for Better Beef. That's not to say that Better Beef isn't going to win. I'm just saying he's going to be a heavy favorite. Don't bet the house, maybe bet the car. That's still a bit of a safer bet. I'm still going to go with Better Beef, him unifying Better BF, whatever, him unifying the division with this. I just don't think, we use the common man phrase, this fucking Dusty Rhodes common man for Joe Smith.
Man.
But the dude can take an ass
hard
whooping.
times.
Yeah,
Maxim tried to put me in hard times.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's a common man. And he can take an ass whooping. So it's just,
He actually is it. Joe Smith is like, because he came here with a 40-hour job. That it's always been his story. And he wins, man. And you've seen he's been the underdog.
And he finds a way to win. He finds a way to win. So, like they mentioned it, of course, during the broadcast. He's been the underdog how many countless times, and he comes through how many times. So we know better than to just completely discredit him or come into the fight being like, oh yeah, he's gonna get fucking Better Beef is gonna mop the floor with Joe Smith. No, but I mean that may happen. That's definitely one of the possibilities. But the great equalizer is that power that Joe Smith has. He lands that right hand on Better Beef. Who knows?
I'm saying it right now. Much like I did in the Dillian White fight when I was the only one looking out for everybody's dollar. If I am wrong and he does not get knocked out by Beterbiev, which I also believe will happen in about 3 or 4 rounds, I will wear a shirt for an entire month of Fight Net radio shows that says Andrew and Miguel are smarter about betting than me. And I will shoot that video each and every week.
Not really going out on a limb, though, with this call, okay? But what you are going out on a limb with was the bet the house bullshit.
I'm telling you, bet the house.
Yeah, well, that's where
I agree with Maxim. Look, this video,
the underdog. That's kind of crazy to say. And you're saying it about a guy who's has Better Beef even fought in America? Seriously, I really don't know. Has he fought in here though?
Not that I remember. The unification bout, I don't even think was here.
Different ball game when you actually come here and fight on the biggest stage there is. Remember, everybody is trying to come here to fight. This is where so we don't know how he's going to react. We don't know. And Joe Smith has been there many times before. He's been there as the guy. Yeah. You're just here as the opponent. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Bernard Hopkins beat you. You're going to be like Bernard Gladfield. He knocked Bernard out of the fucking ring. He knocked him out. He retired him. Like, no, dude. Eder Alvarez. Everyone. He had a great fight with who was it? Kovalev.
Oh, yeah, Kovalev. He beat him.
Yeah, and then freaking Smith knocks him out. So that's the only thing that don't act like I'm sitting here saying this is a Better Beef going to get beat. But don't tell me bet the house on Joe Smith because you might be. Don't bet Joe Smith out. Don't count him out.
Well, I know I'm not allowed to talk like I actually know about boxing from a note from our producer. However, at this moment, I feel compelled to. All anybody with skill, like this guy, has to do is watch this tape. Clearly, in my humble, non-knowing boxing opinion, Vlasov didn't have enough power or skill, but he was correct in his assessment that, dude, his style was so goddamn sloppy. I don't know how Vlasov didn't get knocked out. His hands were at his goddamn hip for the entire fight. And he still got jacked up for at least 5 or 6 rounds by a dude who I did not see him demonstrate any real punching power. So if you do it against a guy who is a knockout guy who can actually watch a tape and formulate a plan like this guy, again, Andrew, it remains to be seen. I'll say it again. Joe Smith is one-dimensional. He comes straight forward, and he looked confused by a guy who had his hands at his hips and got fucked up for at least 5 or 6 of those rounds by a dude with no power who held his hands at his hips. That is my assessment.
I had him winning. I don't know.
I'm gonna rescore it. I'm gonna rescore it for sure, or rewatch it.
Yeah.
Okay, fairly put. With all of that,
to be honest with you, the guy that better be beat for the title, he's the one that put Anderson Stevenson in the hospital. So he looked like a stud. Everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's scary." Better beats him. And I want to say the dude retires right after. Like, I don't think he's fought again. Am I correct, Miguel?
I don't remember him fighting since then because it was bad. It was bad.
We really don't even know who that guy ever was. You know, Stevenson never got his moment. He was kind of blackballed in boxing. PBC. I don't know if we could say they blackballed him or PBC blackballed Stevenson from fighting anyone else. But he really never got his moment. And he's from Canada. I'm just saying.
Everyone knows Canadians suck.
I might lay a little money on Joe Smith. If they make this fight, I might lay a little money on Joe Smith. That's all I'm saying.
Again, the person who picked Dillian White on the team to win within the first couple of rounds.
$1. Jesus.
Yeah, and a clock is right twice a day. So, I mean, I've got that going for me, Andrew. However, I am consistently more right than wrong on these things. With all of that said, hey, do us a favor. Go to fight.net.radio on social media. Click, like, share, subscribe. Do whatever it is you're watching or not doing or whatever it is. We gave you a couple of hours to make up for our week off. Again, I'll point it out. Follow Andrew. You'll get constant boxing updates, especially on the fight.net.radio site. Fight Feed Miggs. The what?
The Fight Net Radio Facebook page is all they need to go to.
Well, there you go. Miguel Antonio Barragan is at Fight Fiend Miggs, and you can watch his blood doping special, soon to be recut by none other than Zack Snyder into a 25-hour mini docudrama for the ESPN channel. Can't recommend it enough. And, of course, if you're just looking to laugh like a jackass at stupid shit I do to myself, go to Just Frank and Killian, and trust me, it is an excuse to watch me fuck myself up to make people laugh for very few people, I think. Much like me fighting Danny Bonaducci. Although that wasn't for a few people. That was just the city of San Diego. Anything you'd like to add, Andrew Lapachet?
No, I'm good. We are good.
Miguel Antonio Barragan. Oh, wait. Predictions, Andrew, quickly. Logan Paul or Paul Logan or whichever Paul is fighting Ben Askren. Do you side with Dana White or do we see more Paul rolling through?
Man, from what I've seen on the highlights of Ben Askren, I have to go with Logan Paul. It sucks. I don't want to. I'm hoping an upset. Hey, Lee said I'm wrong a lot. I hope I'm wrong on this one. But no, man, the guy looks like he has. I don't even know why the guy even mentioned to be a boxer. His stand-up is ugly as shit. And I don't get it. And some money grab. He must be broke. No, look for Logan Paul to probably win by knockout.
Miguel Antonio Barragan, as we debated earlier in the show during the Andrew absence, Logan Paul, Ben Askren. I think it's Logan Paul. I think they're Jake. The same people.
It's Jake.
Oh, it's Jake?
Whatever.
Fuck them. Yeah.
Paul brother. A Paul brother versus Ben Askren. And then we have Mayweather slightly behind this, too, fighting one of the Paul brothers. But who the fuck cares?
Did you see what UFC fighters said they were going to fight Mayweather now?
Oh, yeah. Henry Cejudo.
Yes, sir.
That's just
I didn't even
clout
remember
chasing. Clout chasing. That's all that shit is. I don't think there's any legitimacy behind that one bit.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But anyway, as far as my prediction goes, yeah, I'm going with Paul as well. I mean, come on now. Askren, I don't even think Askren knows how to fucking like clinch or buy himself time if he's even hurt. I mean, he's a wrestler, so he's going to want to grab, of course, right? That's going to be his primary source of defense. But I mean, he doesn't know how to, shake off the cobwebs or buy himself some time. He doesn't know any of that stuff. I mean, hopefully he's learned, but even still, I don't know. I mean, these guys aren't. I mean, I'm talking about Paul in particular. It's not like he's, a classically trained, fundamentally sound boxer himself by no stretch, but it more so than Askren in this case. I'm gonna tune in to watch fucking Regis Prograis and Ivan Redcock more than I am gonna watch this main event, honestly.
With all of that said, I'm going to give you the outcome to the fight because there is betting allowed on this fight. Look for the Paul brother to win by disqualification when Ben Askren loses his shit. Double underhooks this fucker and rolls his ass to the ground and puts him in a chokehold. I guarantee, knowing Ben Askren and his comedic sense when it comes to fighting, that this is a fallback plan if this fight goes sideways. He will pick him up and belly to belly fucking slam this dude and take the loss and the paycheck. There you guys go. Enjoy an interesting week of boxing and fighting. And we will be back next week with more Fight Net Radio. Thanks, everyone.